double checking the time so I can do this right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth,
I'm Helen.
and we are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow. And we were supposed to come to you yesterday, which was Monday, the 28th. However, I was on an expedition, and we couldn't. But we're going to tell you about
It was a very important expedition. It has made two toads very, very happy.
it. Very, very happy. So today is Tuesday, August 29th, and welcome. Welcome.
So I have to adjust my microphone.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of good grabbing my chin.
Can you guys just see the microphone with little hands reaching out to grab your chin?
Ew, the little hands are just a little too freaky.
Okay. Well, you know when they do the little things online where they'll like have a snake and they'll put hands on them, just like line drawings of the hands?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what I'm seeing. So Hugo is up here too. He is with us looking out the window because these windows are at the perfect height for Hugo to stand and look out.
Right.
And he is barking at people who are walking by.
They're standard height.
Dare they?
It's just that's how big Mr. Hugo is.
That's the size of the Hugonator. I threw my glasses in frustration the other day. It was very hot and muggy, and we were doing something, and I just got totally frustrated and then threw them because they kept sliding off my nose. So then I'd tuck them into like the front of my shirt, and then I'd bend over and they'd fall over, and I said, fine, you want to be on the floor? Be on the floor. And I threw them and popped one of the lenses out. And then there was a whole to-do of trying to get it back in again, and now I have permanent smudges on my glasses. All right, so what were we doing yesterday that prevented us from podcasting?
Mary Beth went down to the house we used to live in and met the movers and brought up our chairs.
Our wonderful chairs.
So our brand new chairs that, were brand new a year ago.
Well, because we bought them for each other in Christmas of 2021, and then we had to wait
6 months for them to be delivered.
And then they finally came, and we moved up here. And we got to enjoy them for about 2 months, 3 months. But they've just been sitting down there with, anybody who's been in the house that isn't human.
We'll just say it, the mice.
It's a beach house. You're going to get crickets and mice. It's just, if you don't have a cat down there or people constantly, So I had gone down a week ago and just cleaned them, vacuumed up everything, and got them all ready. And we scheduled the movers, and then they came yesterday.
And they brought up our sofa. They brought up our chairs. We now have comfortable seating for our crafting and viewing pleasures.
We have the sofas in the library, so you can sit and either read a book, like you're supposed to be able to do in a library, or it's right by the window, so you can sit and cross stitch if you want, and it's a really, really comfortable couch, so you're going to get about 6 stitches in, and then you're going to fall asleep. But it's the perfect thing because it's a big, comfy couch.
And you'll get a cat on you, and it'll just be...
that's it. Forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. And then we have our 2 chairs that we had. They have ottomans that go with them that we're not actually using because they're very, very big. But the chairs are perfect.
Yeah.
And we sat in them for the first time last night, and I immediately went to sleep. It was a really long day. But they're here. They're here. It's fantastic.
And we used College Hunks moving service, and I know there are franchises all over the place. I cannot recommend them enough.
They were very, very nice.
From speaking to them on the phone to schedule everything and get pricing, and to the movers themselves, just really, really, really nice people, very professional.
The only tiny little problem I have with them is they were neither college aged or hunks. But they were very, very professional and very good at their jobs.
Right.
So I will take it.
They took great care with everything.
They offered to help me move things. I was moving chairs back into the living room down there so that we didn't, completely move out all the furniture.
Right.
So I was moving chairs back in, and they offered to help me, and it was just really, really nice.
And they were very cognizant of the freaked out dog So just, yeah.
They're very cool.
Highly recommend.
Yes. So that was the group we used was out of Absecon, and it was a really good experience.
And our delivery on Friday that we had to abandon our live podcast for went very well.
Again, I'm so sorry we had to do that.
Right. We should have known.
Yeah.
But that we got in.
Yep.
Very
big and bulky.
And
heavy.
2 of us got it in, no problem. I mean, that was really very seamless.
Yes.
When you think about it. And
more on that is coming.
I was going to say we're being very vague about that, but we have a whole thing on it coming soon.
That's coming soon.
That's all to do with the room that we tiled. So,
it's all coming together. Right. All the pieces are falling into place.
Right.
So, but what we do have to talk about today is we have some progress on works in crafty stuff that we've been working on, knitting and cross stitching.
Right.
So, do you have anything else?
No, I have knitting. I have my sweater and
No. I mean anything else beforehand, or shall we jump right to it?
Oh,
I think that's jumping into it, right?
Yeah, I think jump in.
Right, because sister number 3 came out on Saturday, and we had a lovely visit with her.
Oh yeah,
we were looking through old pictures. That was kind of fun because.
We found some old school pictures, which I am going to put in the beginning.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we found older pictures of us. We found older pictures of my mom and her brother and sisters. And then we found some pictures of my grandfather from when he was in 8th grade. We found my grandfather's high school report cards. Pictures of my grandmother.
And my grandmother and grandfather together. Our grandmother and grandfather
on their wedding day. My mom's pretty sure it was their wedding day, so it was really kind of nice, going through some of the pictures with her and having her see things and talk about them. That was good. That was really good. And my grandmother and my great aunt, when they were really little, we found an old scrapbook from them, so that was kind of cool. Yeah. But there also was a letter that my grandfather drafted and all the people in the neighborhood signed because the Army had built barracks in the park next to where his house was. And it was the people in the neighborhood asking them to take down the Army barracks. And this was 1946.
Yeah.
So it goes way back. It's cool. It's very cool. All right. So shall we start with cross stitch?
Sure.
All right. I've been working on my cross stitch. This is from Clouds Factory, and this is in one of the bags that I made. This was the first one I did before I got the binding down. The binding is a mess on this one, but the one that I'm working on is called "In This House We Practice Witchcraft." And that's what it looks like. God bless you. God bless you. I ordered the fabric. For those of you that are just joining in, I ordered the fabric from 123 Stitch because I had tried to do it on 18 count and it would appear my eyes are just not good enough for 18 count anymore, so I had to get 16 count. But this is fiber on a whim, and the color is cornflower, and that's what it looks like. It's really, really pretty.
And you tried doing it on a darker one too, and you just didn't like working on the darker fabric. Right?
I didn't like the makeup of the fabric. It wasn't from the same people.
Right.
It was from a different company.
More plasticky.
Yeah. So that's what this is looking like right now. There's the border, and then the first shelf. Actually, I think there's only one shelf. There may be 2 shelves. I'm not sure. Anyway,
so I was watching a floss tube.
Okay.
And she was talking about the hand-dyed fabrics.
Right.
And she was saying that with the hand-dyed fabrics that it's 16 count because they take 16 count and they hand dye it. But by the time they're done manipulating the fabric and everything like that, she said it really goes more to an 18.
Oh, okay.
So that when we have problems with the 18 count, it's on the hand-dyed fabrics is because we're dealing more with
A 20?
Probably a 20.
Oh, okay. All right.
Um,
Whatever this is, this weave is perfect for me. Look how well you can see it on the camera.
yeah.
This weave is absolutely perfect for me. I can see it. I can work with it. It works out really well. The only thing I am changing, and I have to change it throughout, is I have one of the colors called for is this color. Which is very, very similar to this color. So especially when it's on the outside, it disappears. Like you can barely see it. When it's inside the blue, the darker blue, you can see it, but in the corners, you can see a little bit, but not very much. So wherever it's calling for that color, I have to find a different color to fill in with because it outlines a lot of the beakers and things like that. It was on part of the candle that I filled in with a gray instead.
So
Because you wouldn't be able to see. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the gray or if I'm going to get I was thinking of a light green.
Oh, okay.
And doing like a light green instead.
Okay.
That will show up really well.
Like an apple.
Not that bright.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking lighter, like a leaf.
Oh, okay.
Like a leaf green.
Okay.
Not the bright appley green, but like a slightly
acorn, like our acorn color.
Yes, yes. So something like that will work well with the other greens, but not be as dark.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm thinking of that. But right now it is coming along very well, and I'm really, when I have a chance to do it, I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm about to go into a jar full of eyeballs.
Okay.
I mean, come on. I also love that there's knitting on top of the books.
Right. Well, we know all good witches
knit, right? So
or crochet.
So this is what my cross stitch is. And Helen, as we were cleaning off one of the chairs in the dining room, found my pumpkins with the mice that I was working on last year. So once I'm done with this, I may move over to that because I'm hoping that it will be right around
seasonal, yeah,
October, end of September, October, and I'll be able to. It'll be perfect timing.
I have to tell you, I have these seasons where all I want to do is knit. All I want to do is EPP.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, all I want to do is cross stitch. I am working on my Spring Jasmine Tea by Madame Chantilly. And mine is also on a 16 count. I think it's Picture This Plus. I don't remember. It's an old fabric. But last time I had the chicken done and the duck. Oh look, and the pig.
It looks so good.
So I am filling in his teacup right now, and then I move on to the rabbit.
Her animals are so good.
They are. I was just on Etsy, and I saw that there's the winter hot cocoa, and
right,
we're probably gonna have to get that.
I think so because we have the summer iced tea,
right.
And it would just be.
I don't see one for autumn, but having the 3 would be fun.
Yeah.
So.
I love that.
Yeah.
That looks really, really good.
So. Love working on it.
Cool.
Want to sit in my very comfortable chair
and cross stitch, right? Stitch. It's podcast. It's all for the podcast.
It's right content.
You have to have time for your content.
You guys wouldn't want us to come on and not show you anything, would you?
Right. Speaking of which, let's talk knitting. Because I cross stitched to a certain time, and then my eyes just are like, nope, no more. So I start knitting. And what I have been really, really loving is the blanket that I decided to do out of the minis from the Nutcracker Advent.
Okay, we got several questions. So
okay,
can you talk about your beginning and end stitches again?
Yes. Okay. So to begin with, I cast on 350 stitches because I looked up lap blanket and it said it should be between, I think, 330 and 365. So I went with 350 because that seems like a nice number. And on the right side, I do a knit, slip, knit, and then go into the rest of the stitches, which is pretty much garter stitch. And the last 3 stitches, I knit, slip, knit. And then on the wrong side, I do slip, knit all the way across, and then do slip, knit, slip. And this is the border that it gives you.
So the biggest thing to remember is that on your wrong side, you're doing the opposite for the
Right.
3 stitches. So you knit the slips and slip the knits.
Right. And it's 3 stitches on either side, so it's either knit, or slip, knit, slip on either side, and it's just very, very easy. Okay, so
you've gotten quite a bit done.
Yeah, a couple. I think it was 2021 we did the Nutcracker, and it was
our Advent calendar,
our Advent minis, and we took inspiration from the movie, the Nutcracker and the Four Realms, the just the music, how we felt when we listened to the music, the books, all of it. We took
the Balanchine ballets.
Right, we took inspiration from all of it and dyed up a whole bunch of colors. And this is where I am so far. I am on the 3rd day.
These 3 colors together are just fantastic.
They are. They're beautiful.
And I love Snow White in between.
I am not doing them in the order that they came because I've completely lost that order. Right. So I am just doing it as I do it, as I reach in and grab them. But I am doing garter stitch on the minis, and I am taking the 20-gram mini and doing the entire thing garter stitch. Then when I get to the end of it, I add in Snow White, which is a color that we dye for our fairy tales. And when I am doing Snow White, I am doing stockinette stitch I'm doing 5 rows of it. The first row I knit, the second row I purl, the third row I do yarn over, knit 2 together all the way across. Then I purl back, knit across for the 5th row. And I'm pretty sure actually that I'm doing 6 rows because I'm pretty sure I come back on a purl and then I start the new mini.
So you yarn over, knit 2 together so you don't drop your yarn overs coming back. You just knit purl your yarn overs.
Yep. So it's yarn over, knit 2 together all the way across, and then on my way back I purl across the whole thing. So it's 6 rows, not 5, 6 rows of Snow White.
And do you take your mini to wherever you end, middle of the row?
Yep.
And then you just pick up with Snow White?
Yep. Okay. And I just finished that row with Snow White, and I don't count that as one of the Snow White rows. I just, and so far it seems I've always gotten it on the
purl row?
The purl row. But if it turns out that I add it on in the middle of the knit row, then my first row will be purl back, knit, purl, knit 2 together, do the eyelet. I'm kind of making this up as I go along. I'm 100% making this up as I go along. So it hasn't happened yet. We shall see if it does.
You should take notes because people will want the pattern when we're done.
We should. Let's see how it turns out. Okay. So far, I just really love the colors together.
Oh my God, they're fantastic.
I just really love the way they look.
These 3 colors together are just...
It's going to be so beautiful by the time I'm done because this Advent mini set was one of my favorite of all time. Which is why I am
doing the right project.
I want it to be the right project, and I want it to be something that we're going to have out and we're going to be like, oh, those are Advent minis.
Right.
And just love it and use it. Have it be something that we use. So that's where I am.
But I will say your habitation throw gets used every night. So.
It does. My mom has taken over my habitation throw and she wraps it around her legs as we watch TV at night, and it's perfect. It's the right weight.
Everybody else in the room is dying.
So it's really good that it's something that she can use.
I am working on my Kala sweater, which the body is done. I tried it on. It fits perfectly. Comes to exactly where I wanted it to. Lengthwise, it's just right at my natural waist. So not quite a crop, but not a full hip sweater either. I was hoping it was going to be done today so I could be wearing it, but I started to do the sleeve last night. You go through and you pick up your sleeve stitches, and then you can either do an I-cord finish on the sleeve or ribbing. And I was going to do the I-cord because I kind of like the look of the I-cord in her pictures. I did it for the one sleeve. I did the I-cord, and as I was finishing up the last row, I realized I had made it so tight. This sits so nicely now. It's a nice open drop sleeve, loose, and it was like tight on my arm. That's how tight the I-cord made it. So I ripped it all out. And
would you consider doing like Jenny's stretchy bind off or one of those? Because that kind of gives it the ripply look. So it's almost like I don't know how to. It's almost like the ribbony look.
Yeah, I did. That's how I bound off the ribbing for the bottom of the sweater.
But you don't do the ribbing.
Well, I'm gonna do the ribbing.
Okay.
Just to give it a little bit extra. And then I'm gonna do
I think it's called petal. Like the petal look.
Okay.
So that it's just, you don't do it on ribbing.
It's like a ruffle sleeve.
It's like a little bit of a ruffle going around, but it gives it that very feminine look, but it's not at the end of the, you don't do the ribbing because that's giving it structure.
Right.
You know, you want it to be that very loose, ripply look. So I don't know. It's just a thought because at the end of a sleeve, it would be really pretty.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm doing the 1x1 rib right now.
Oh, so then never mind.
So I've decided to do, instead of the I-cord, I'm doing the ribbing.
Okay.
And then I'll do the Jenny's stretchy bind off for the cuff. So,
and since you have already cast off the bottom, casting off the sleeves, doing the stretchy bind off on the sleeves is going to happen in
and having done the I-cord already for the sleeve, Jenny's stretchy bind off is nothing.
Yeah.
Because the I-cord, you knit 3 stitches just to decrease by 1. Yeah, love the sweater. It's in Some Pig, which is a peachy color of ours. It's always been one of my favorite colors, and I'm so glad that I'm going to have a garment in it.
Oh, yeah.
So
it looks so pretty. Yeah, it really does. She tried it on with the skirt the other day, and it's perfect. It hits absolutely perfect for like a slightly high-waisted skirt.
Right, and then to wear over sundresses, it's going to be perfect.
It is, absolutely.
So very excited. It's going to be done just in time for, Indian summer.
Right.
Where you do want just something a little bit over a sundress or something.
Yeah.
So it will be done next week.
Cool.
It should be done next week. I'm not making any categorical statements. Universe, I'm not making any categorical statements.
All right. That's fantastic.
Yes. Very exciting because that did not take me
a tremendous amount of time.
Amount of time. So fingering weight, short sleeve sweater.
All right. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right. Do you have anything else? Ooh, I have thread that I need to put back in my bag because I'm going to lose it.
No, I just have to, I was just thinking, I need to figure out what I'm going to be doing next so that when I finish, I'm ready to go.
You mentioned it the other day, and we have to find a project for you to do.
I'm kind of tempted by socks, but then I'm thinking, do I want to, because we were talking about short sleeve DK sweaters this morning.
Right.
So do I want to start one of those? Because we had found a whole bunch of patterns that we liked. And we had picked yarn for them.
Yes, we did.
So
there's tons.
That might be where I go.
Okay. We will let you know.
I was going to say, as soon as I know, you will know.
Okay. So what is the podcasting for the end of the week?
What is the podcasting?
Yes. What are we going to be doing as far as the end of the week is concerned? We normally go live on Friday, but we are not able to go live this Friday because the nephews are coming.
Right. It is Labor Day weekend. We have we were contemplating going live on Thursday, but we have a plumber coming, so we're not sure timing wise whether that's going to be able to like pick a specific time and we'll actually be able to meet it.
Right.
And we do not want to repeat
of last
Friday. So I think probably what we're going to do is we're going to pre-record and we'll put up a podcast on Friday. Laundry's done.
Laundry's done.
And so we will have a short little podcast for Friday.
Okay.
That will just be one that we just put up that won't go live, and then we'll do live again
the following Friday.
Are we going to be able to? Yeah, because it's not the 15th yet.
Right. Yes, we should be able to do that. Okay, so
It'll
this
be
Friday,
New Jersey Sheep and Wool Weekend. It's going to be the first time. How long? 7 years?
At least.
That we won't be at New Jersey Sheep and Wool. This is a transition time of our lives, and we will get through this.
Okay. All right. Well, for those of you that aren't going to the New Jersey Sheep and Wool on Friday, September 8th.
Oh, actually, it's setup day anyway. So
yeah. So Friday, September 8th at noon Eastern Standard Time, we will be going live.
Right.
This Friday the 1st, which I'm sorry, September. Why are you coming quite so quickly? Friday, September 1st, we will have a pre-recorded video that we will put up in and around noon. And right,
it'll go up Friday.
Okay.
It may go up Friday morning. What do you say?
There's a lanternfly. That's how they get in. They come along the screen and then they climb up by the window. We have lanternflies that come in this room and we can't figure out how, and it's because the windows are curved glass so that you have to have special screens and they're not absolutely flush,
right,
so that things can crawl up in between, and that's what they do. They crawl up.
They started off, they were like this big. They weren't a nuisance. They're now like full on like big moth size, and
you should see Hugo with them.
They jump.
He kind of
I don't like things that jump at me.
And they jump, and then he goes skittering backwards because he's very, very skittish. But anyway, it's amusing. Yes. Okay. All right. What were we saying? Oh, yes. This Friday, September 1st, pre-recorded video. Next Friday, the 8th, we'll go live.
Right.
That's what we're doing. Okay. So we hope you guys have a great rest of the week.
Go forth and create.
And we will see you on Friday.
Bye.
Bye.